National Dialogue, brought to you by New Ideal Model School, airing exclusively today on Husky TV. If there's one thing we know for certain, it's that Nigerian politics is the noise in our newsrooms, it's the fury on our social media feeds, it's the debate at every single dinner table across the country. We know the diagnosis, we live it every single day. We see the economy under strain, we see the infrastructure in ruin, and we obviously know about the political class that obsessively weaponizes identity politics while the house burns down around us. And in this, the question that remains at the back of every single Nigerian's head is whether or not this state of affairs is inevitable or a choice. We're asking this because while we are told to wait, others are moving. Nepal didn't wait, they reformed. East Africa isn't waiting, they're rebuilding. And right next door in Burkina Faso, they are showing us that potential does not have to remain a permanent promise. It can mean prosperity. So why not Nigeria? Why not the largest democracy in the continent? Why not the self-proclaimed giant of Africa? Dear viewers, once again, welcome to the National Dialogue. Today we bring you from New Ideal Model School young, restless minds that are tired of letting this question go unanswered. Young, restless minds that are more than willing to hold power into account. Whether you're watching from home, work, school, or anywhere across the globe, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Aishat Suleiman Sani, and this is the National Dialogue. As promised, I'm surrounded here by a panel of billions in our midst. In all seriousness though, I'm joined by 4 active activists. Sajida Ismail, prospective 11th grader, please can you wait for us? Thank you, thank you. Rahima Muhammad, prospective 10th grader, can you also wait for us? Thank you. Bidazir Abdusalam, prospective 10th grader, don't forget to smile, wait for us, wait for us. And finally, Aisha Kabiru Dodo, a prospective 9th grader, please wait for us. Ladies, thank you for joining us today on the first segment of the National Dialogue, New Guard Politics, where we'll discuss 4 vital issues: ethnicity, tribalism, and nepotism, youth unemployment, poor educational system, and most importantly, corruption. If you're ready, let's set sail. We'll start with one of the biggest modern issues: ethnicity, tribalism, and nepotism, answered by Rahima Muhammad. Rahima, are you ready? Yes. Let us begin. The first question is, because of the interchangeability of the words ethnicity, tribalism, and nepotism in modern discourse, the distinct meanings behind them seem to be blurred. Could you please explain to us what they actually mean and how they manifest in Nigeria today?
Yes, of course I can. I'm happy to be here.
Of course you are, of course you are.
They fit into the same cycle, but they exist at 3 different levels: identity, ideology, and action. Ethnicity is the identity. It is simply shared culture, language, and heritage.
Rahima, is ethnicity itself a problem?
Not at all. Ethnicity itself is not a problem because it represents our rich cultural heritage. Tribalism is the ideology. It is the practical execution of tribalism. It is an us versus them worldview, where loyalty to one's ethnic group passes loyalty to one's nation. Nepotism is the action. It occurs. It is the practical execution of tribalism. It is when power, public funds, employment, and state contracts are given based on relation, not hard work. In modern day Nigeria, we see this when federal character policies are abused to justify blindness, and when merit-based employment is replaced by who you know.
So Rahima, given what we know about this, what do you propose can be done to mitigate this issue?
To solve this problem, Nigeria must promote merit-based employment, strengthen the laws against discrimination and corruption, promote national unity. Schools, religious organizations, and the media should teach the importance of respecting all ethnic groups. Let us have leadership by example. Leaders should be transparent and make decisions based on competence rather than ethnic, tribal, or family affection.
Before I forget, you skipped a part. How do they manifest across Nigeria?
Well, off the top of my head, I can say that it is the elite class.
The elite class. How does the elite class help ethnic tribalism and nepotism manifest in Nigeria? How?
Well, they often motivate tribal-based employment and funding rather than the one of competence, which is our biggest issue. We have to topple them in order to topple our issue.
Who are the elite class?
What I mean by the elite class, the rich people on top, the politicians.
All right. Wonderfully answered, Rahima. Moving on to the second set of questions. Youth unemployment, answered by Binazir Abdusalam. Binazir, what is the biggest driver of youth unemployment in Nigeria today?
From my research, I'll say that the government's lack of foresight is the biggest issue. Every year, Nigeria pumps out graduates at a figure even the government is unaware of. How do you expect employment when the data governing it is unavailable?
You're definitely right about that. How can we expect to have stable employment rates if we don't even know how many people need jobs? Moving on, what are the effects of youth unemployment? How is the future of Nigeria looking?
From my research, idle talent becomes frustrated talent, which means we lose innovative ideas to immigration and we forfeit the demographic dividend that could power growth for decades. Those that not Japa, those that not Japa and are unemployed turn to a life of crime, which does nothing but further burden the nation.
You're right. We see this all across Nigeria. I mean, just a few months ago in Jos, a 23-year-old was actually arrested for alleged theft clothing. Can you imagine? Please explain to us, how is the future of Nigeria looking?
Off the top of my head, I would say that these are the most potent effect because Nigeria is at a breaking point, and if nothing is done, the center may no longer hold.
So Nigeria is going to be looking very grim if we don't do anything. Understood. What do you propose are the solutions to this issue?
All hands must be on deck to salvage the future of this great nation. We must employ this simple formula for us to bridge the gap of divide in harnessing the potentials of our youth. Firstly, skills for the economy. There must be a conscious effort at all levels to scale technical, vocational, and digital training that is aligned with market demand, such as agriculture, tech, and creative industries. Secondly, enterprise support. Government must reduce regulatory friction, expand access to finance, and create apprenticeship to employment pathway to our teeming youth, both at the federal, state, and local government levels. Those are the interests must be carried along. And lastly, private sector leadership. Businesses must invest in internship, mentorship, and local content to absorb and grow new talents. While many Nigerians must rise to the occasion and join hands with the likes of Tony Elunubu to positively transform the lives of our youth.
What a mouthful. Thank you so much, Binazir. Let's move on to the other Q&A session for this segment. Poor educational system, presented to us by Sajida Ismail. Sajida, what makes Nigeria's educational system so poor in the first place?
Well, from my observation, the truth is our schools suffer from massive underfunding. Teachers, the beacons of knowledge, are completely drained. Their salaries are laughably low, and our curriculum stopped in the 80s. That's why our educational system is comparatively poor.
I understand that, and you're more than right about the teachers, actually. I mean, just recently we uncovered ghost workers who steal the funds of these teachers from public schools. It's laughable how we allow this to happen to our beacons of knowledge. Moving on, how does this issue of a poor educational system relate to our high youth unemployment rates?
Remember what I said about our curriculum?
Yes, you told me that it's stuck in the 90s, in the 80s actually.
Yes, that directly means our students graduate with shiny certificates, but no hands-on skill needed for the job market. This certificate-focused culture is one of the reasons our youth unemployment rate remains so high.
Well said. Actually, excellently said. We as Nigerians have a problem. We graduate with shiny certificates, but there's nothing shiny in our heads. Moving on, what do you propose are the effective solutions to put an end to this problem?
Nationally, government must meet the UNESCO 26% education budget benchmark and reform curriculum to suit our national needs. Nigeria must wake up her responsibility and deliberate steps to scaling the future of next generation, unless we want to see this nation die with our generation.
Well said, Sajida, well said. Moving on to the last Q&A session of this segment, the topic I know everyone is waiting for, corruption. Presented to us by our prospective 9th grader, Aisha Kabiru. Aisha, statistically, what is the biggest driver of corruption in Nigeria? How does corruption manifest across Nigeria today?
Well, there isn't a single universal cause of corruption, but across studies such as World Bank, Transparency International, and academic research, few factors show up as the strongest drivers, which I mean by weak institution, low public sector wages, and cultural normalization.
So what do you mean by weak institutions?
Weak institution, I mean, When our courts, police officers, and oversight bodies are weak, corruption hides beneath the gaze of a systematic issue instead of being tackled.
Corruption hides beneath the gaze of systematic issues. Well said, well said. How does corruption manifest across Nigeria?
Corruption in Nigeria appears in petty and grand ways, which are bribery to police at checkpoints, paying extra to access basic services like electricity, water, and healthcare, and even employing ghost workers who steal funds for public school teachers.
Well said. Might I also add that paying for certificates for your children is also a form of corruption. So, moving on, what would you propose as a reasonable set of actions to get rid of corruption in Nigeria?
Well, no country has been able to eliminate corruption completely, but many have reduced it significantly by doing these three things. Strengthening institutions. In Nigeria, we must strengthen EFCC and our courts so that erring people face the full wrath of the law.
Okay.
We should build transparency in what we do and also improve public sector incentives.
Do you think it's achievable? Can Nigeria really get rid of corruption? Do you think it's achievable? Can we actually get rid of corruption?
Yes, it's more than achievable, but will not be easy or fast. Countries like Singapore, Georgia, and Rwanda have done it, but for Nigeria, it's going to be harder. We are a big nation with a corrupt and stubborn government. It is achievable, but it requires sacrifice and determination. The only challenge is political resistance.
Okay, I understand. Well answered, Aisha. Well answered, ladies. All of you did an amazing job, which shows that Nigeria is really taking a step in the right direction. You heard them loud and clear. Ladies, do you have any closing remarks before we formally conclude this segment?
Yes. Nigeria can only achieve lasting peace and development when citizens decide to put national interests above ethnic, tribal, or family affection. Our diversity should unite us, not divide us.
Thank you, Rahima. Benazir?
The Nigerian youths we see today are a reflection of what Nigeria really looks like, or what Nigeria will look like in the nearest future. Our current leaders, whether as a traditional ruler, religious, business, politician, or whatever category of leadership, must consciously prepare our youth as their legacy for Nigeria.
Thank you, Benazir. Well said. Excellently said. Sajida?
Yes,
Any
students
closing remarks?
must avoid exam malpractice, and parents should desist from buying results for their children because excellence is personal.
Excellent is personal. Wow. Aisha?
Well, to my fellow Nigerians, say no to corruption, yes to integrity. Our progress depends on it.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. I'm hoping that you guys thoroughly enjoyed this segment, and I'm hoping that you'll enjoy the next batch as much as you will this. The National Dialogue will continue right after a short break. Stay in your seats, ladies and gentlemen. We're just getting started. Welcome back to the National Dialogue. We'll pick up right where we left off, this time with a new set of guests. Aisha Jibril, our prospective 11th grader, please, can you wave to the camera? Mariam Abbas, prospective 10th grader, please wave to the camera. Zainab Suleiman Sani, our prospective 9th grader, please wave to the camera. Shamsuddin Mohammed, only guy here, please, can you wave to the camera? Ladies and Shamsuddin, thank you for joining us on the second segment of the National Dialogue called Old Guard Politics, where we'll discuss three issues actually. Insecurity, inadequate healthcare system, and poor infrastructure. If you're ready, let's dive in. Are you ready? We'll start with insecurity, presented to us by Shamsuddin Mohammed and Zainab Suleiman Sani. Shamsuddin, do you believe our corruption issue is a causative agent for insecurity?
Yes, corruption and insecurity work hand in hand. We see this relationship across various instances, but to briefly summarize, where there is corruption, insecurity follows.
When there is corruption, insecurity follows. Beautiful. In modern day Nigeria, how does insecurity present itself and what are its immediate and long-term impacts?
Insecurity in modern day Nigeria is not localized to a certain region. It is manifest differently. In the northeast, we have banditry and kidnapping. In the middle belt, we have herder-farmer conflict. In the southeast, we have separatist agitation. These are three hot security issues affecting Nigeria today.
Zainabu, can you give us some recent examples of these manifestations?
Okay, so in the northwest, bandits surrounded a village in Zamfara. Under the threat of mass community and school abductions.
Oh my God.
In the middle belt, bandits surrounded farm settlements in Plateau over land and grazing rights. And in the southeast, bandits made a sit-at-home Monday by attacking local transportation hubs in Imo.
Wow. When will the insecurity issue in Nigeria get better, ladies and gentlemen? Shamsuddin, how do you suggest we combat this issue of insecurity?
Insecurity can be mitigated both at the national and state level. Government should modernize security architecture. Students should stay away from drug abuse and become peace ambassadors in their society. Government should ensure that they eliminate permanently poverty and unemployment.
Thank you, Shamsuddin. That was beautiful. We'll move on, for the sake of time, to the inadequate healthcare system portion given to us by Aisha Jibril. Aisha, how does our poor infrastructure tie into our issue of a declining medical system?
Poor infrastructure is one of the biggest reasons for our declining medical system.
How exactly? Because you're telling me what, but I need how.
Allow me to explain through three factors. Firstly, hard infrastructure. When hospitals lack items such as electricity and equipment, surgeries can be interrupted, delays become the norms, and in the medical field, a second can determine life or death. Secondly, our travel network. It is a well-known fact that road and rails are the arteries of trade and mobility. But when these are bad, people cannot even reach hospitals. Hospitals cannot stock our resources. Thirdly, soft infrastructures. Doctors who are part of the medical field need a proper infrastructure to be able to do their work. When they can't find that, they abandon the medical field in favor of a country that will provide it. These three factors are what makes our medical system in decline.
I understand. Where do you think our issues concerning the medical system are most prominent?
The problems in Nigerian medical system are most prominent in our primary health centers, public hospitals, and rural communities.
Okay.
These facilities often struggle with inadequate funding, shortage of health workers, poor infrastructure, lack of essential medicines, and outdated equipment. As a result, most Nigerians face delays in receiving quality health care and preventable illness, and deaths remain a serious concern.
Did you hear that? Deaths remain a serious concern. In 2026, when every single Nigerian should be able to have access to medical care, deaths still remain a serious concern. This is proof of a country that is unstable, an unstable country. I'll do everything in our power to fix that. Aisha, where do you assume the most effective patches should be placed to combat the decline?
To resolve the decline in our medical system, reform should begin where people first seek care, our primary health centers. At the same time, government must provide access for public hospitals. Invest in public hospitals, support healthcare workers, ensure a steady supply of medicines, and increase funding for healthcare. This targeted intervention will strengthen the entire primary health centers and ensure that all Nigerians receive a quality healthcare.
Thank you so much. Again, for brevity, we'll move on to the poor infrastructure segment given to us by a prospective 10th grader, Mariam Abbas. Mariam, is the issue of poor infrastructure a national or a local issue? And explain to us the main causative agent for our local issue.
The issue of poor infrastructure is both a national and a local issue.
Okay.
Locally, it is caused by the corruption factor among our political class.
Understood. How does this issue of poor infrastructure affect emergencies, especially medical emergencies, trade, and the lives of ordinary people?
When road and rails fall, delays become emergencies, and emergencies become inadequate.
I understand. Emergencies become fatalities. We see that every single day. especially in the course of snake bites, which we know that could kill a person in just under 20 minutes. But when our roads and rails fail, and we can't even deliver people to hospitals in 20 minutes, people just die. Emergencies become literally fatalities. And that's something that a country like Nigeria, with its growth, with its resources, should not be having. Moving on, what about trade and the lives of ordinary people?
Trade failed because good don't reach consumers. Good reach consumers, which make them unsatisfied. And to ordinary people, logistics become a hidden tax.
Thank you. What do you propose is the most effective set of solutions to combat this issue?
Well, there are three solutions. By financing project wisely. Firstly, by financing project wisely. Secondly, by actively maintaining what we already have. Thirdly, we must get rid of corruption.
Thank you so much, Mario. All of you did good. All of you said something of substance here. Before we conclude this segment, ladies and Shamsuddin, any final words? Any final words? Any closing remarks? If you have a closing remark, just say it out.
When hospitals work, lives are saved, productivity is protected, and the cost of living falls. Make no mistake, health is infrastructure.
Health is infrastructure.
Nigeria will enjoy long-lasting peace when crimes are reported rather than committed. But until then, Nigeria is still living in fear.
Mario?
When road and rails work, goods are delivered on time and communities are connected to opportunities.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the National Dialogue officially wraps up. Today, we haven't brought ourselves to you to engage in comfortable political theater. We've gone through all of this so we can peel back the petty excuses and face the reality of this issue. All of this that you're seeing, all these issues, all these 7 issues that we brought to you are not inevitable. They are the result of political choice. Even more than that, today we have shown you that there are solutions. And transformation will not come from a higher altar. Transformation will come from a citizenship that refuses to accept mediocrity as its national destiny. Just because the lights go down here tonight does not mean this conversation is over. Take it to your communities. Take it to your ballot boxes in the approaching 2027 election. Choose the candidate that will solve these issues, not the candidate that will multiply them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, Aishat Suleiman Sani. Thank you for viewing.